Good morning. It's Monday, December 11th, and that means two things. The last thing I want to do is upset you, but that doesn't mean it's not on the list. It's also time for the lighting industry news brief brought to you by Keystone Technology and their area lights with optic swap. What this comes with is an area light, including the mounting, including a photocell, and including 3 different lenses so that you can pop that thing open, put in the lens you need, and you still get to pick your power output, your color temperature, and it keeps things custom without making things complicated. That is Keystone Technologies, and that is light made easy. The link to that product is in the description if you don't mind. But the news has a few things for you. The U.S. Department of Energy has 2 new R&D programs open for funding, so you can develop advanced lighting fixtures or commercial advancement programs with funding already ready for applicants right now. The DLC is ready to accept product images on the QPL. They're not mandatory, but there are some rules about relative size and level of detail if you plan on doing that. WAC has built a new factory in Thailand. This is a brand new 600 square foot space, and it's ready to get going right now. The Minamata Convention has agreed to end fluorescent lighting. This is on top of previous commitments from other groups to also end fluorescent lighting. There we go. Europhase has partnered with a private equity firm with Breachpoint Capital buying into the lighting company for an undisclosed amount. The NLB has declared that home is where the light is, with a new residential fixture program related to health and wellness. The U.S. DOT is funding new lighting on tribal lands. This is part of infrastructure spending that is earmarked for rural and Native American regions of America. Wolfspeed has completed a deal to sell off its radio frequency business unit. That's now over at Magcom Tech. No, they won't tell me how much they made yet. It'll come up on the quarterly business call. I'll let you know. Leviton has begun to transition the brand of Burktech. Part numbers are going to stay the same, but the numbers on the boxes will, so keep that in mind. Funrush has bought Nowatt. This is a French lighting manufacturer buying a French solar lighting maker. No price is announced. Signify is spinning off its OEM division. The components group is entirely reorganized as part of the larger cost-cutting reorganization we talked about last week. And Ragni has bought Hess. Ragni is a French company, and they have bought Hess, the German subsidiary of Experience Brands. So there you go. The DLC's Industry Advisory Committee has released the minutes and agenda of their fall meeting. The meeting was on September 28th, and I have been told by a rep, who I consider reputable, from the DLC, that it's just a matter of procedure. Like another committee has to approve the meeting minutes before they release. That's why it takes this long for those minutes to find their way to the public. That's the story. Wind Supply has bought Milford. Milford is a 5-location pipe, valve, and fitting dealer. They're based in Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. Franklin Electric has bought Action Manufacturing and Supply. Franklin already has a water treatment portfolio, but this is just expanding that. And Welsh Sign has merged with Bailey Sign. This is a new Northeastern region sign and lighting group. The brand identities will remain distinct for now. And FW Webb has bought JD Johnson. JD Johnson was a 1-location business in Poughkeepsie, New York. Orion is entering the danger zone as far as the NASDAQ is concerned. Their share value has been below $1 on the NASDAQ for a little more than a month, which is when the warning letters start to go out. They still have 6 months to recover before they get delisted. The COB of LEDI Bond has bought back 1 million shares. This is a $69,000 transaction that went through on the 5th. T-Link Semiconductor is now listed on the Shanghai Stock Exchange. EFC has launched a new gas recycling program specifically to reclaim neon gases. Panasonic North America has won top marks from the Human Rights Campaign with a perfect score on their Equality Index. Southwest Stone, a Missouri landscaper, is adding exterior lighting to their options. The BBC and the LIA have reviewed SAD lamps, with lab results showing that there are 3 brands that are actually helpful for seasonal mental health issues. The IES is switching to the calendar year. Previously, it had been organized around the fiscal year. I recommend that everyone organize around the Kodak year. It's a 13-month calendar that's very handy for business reasons. You should look it up. LEDS Magazine is seeking Bright Star Award submission. This is the 3rd year of the awards program, looking for tech developments. New York is the newest state that might ban non-compete clauses. The bill is currently sitting on the governor's desk. And MyGlow is selling a lampshade made of mushrooms. Living black mycelium will be your lampshade. It will filter the air while it shades your lamps. I don't know how to feel about this one. Nietzsche is expanding their UV offerings by entering UV LEDs, with new B and A range lamps coming online. In rep agency updates, we have a recap of 57 recent rep partnerships thanks to Inside Lighting. In legal news, Deco's asset transfer has been approved by the court. This had been previously contested by other partners. In a related news, the PQL has begun to grab trademarks formerly held by Deco. This is a new development unrelated to the partnership. WAC has filed a lawsuit against Visual Comfort & Co. This is their 2nd lawsuit against VCC. The US ITC is set to investigate OLED complaints from Samsung. These are against 8 other groups. And Justin Schweitzer, who had previously threatened a bomb attack on North American Lighting's Paris, Illinois plant, will serve 3 years in prison for that threat, as well as paying financial restitution to North American Lighting. In events, we have a webinar on the 14th with the IES presenting on RP9, and Light of Vision is bringing back their Designer Preview Day. So if you're a designer, your early access will run on the 9th of January. In IoT news, Dolly is updating to expand sensor types, so Part 306 of the Dolly standard now lists 50 things a sensor can sense. Actility has secured new venture capital funding, specifically $17 million. Skykes, I still have not gotten a comment about how to pronounce that. Please do that for me. Please, I don't want to seem dumb. But Skykes has collaborated with Kickler on new connected lighting products. Wireless switches could save as much as half of wiring costs in a home if all of our lighting switches were just wireless, as opposed to running on copper. And that's great. Copper isn't getting any cheaper. And Hue lamps are about to be able to act as sensors. The ability to detect Wi-Fi disruption as a occupancy center is already available on whiz bulbs. So that could happen. In R&D, the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor has confirmed a long-held suspicion within our industry, and that is, in fact, that LED lighting is more efficient than fluorescent tubes, in fact, as much as 44%. There we are. We finally solved it, guys. We finally got there. Confirmation studies and replication studies are good, but it is a little silly. A couple of guys in Freeland, Washington have invented a solar socket, which is to say a solar panel and a socket if you need to power your outdoor lighting that way. It seems neat. In darkness-related news, we have bluer lamps leading to increased fatalities in moths related to predation. We have determined that the density of ALAN, which is to say man-made light at night, in cities it's a death trap for birds. It's just a death trap for birds. It's bad, guys. It's bad. We got to work on that. Circadian stress responses help chart mitochondrial DNA changes. The Canary Islands have rescued more than 3,000 seabirds from light pollution hazards. We have a study that confirms previous data that shows that blue light does harm fruit flies as they age, specifically more damage as they age. DW Windsor is launching a new Light Responsibly initiative. A reminder that your indoor decorative lighting this time of year is still a circadian hazard, and you should consider some dimmers and some timers for your trees and your boughs and your wreaths and your, dancing snowman, whatever you put up. An international team has launched a new citizen science app related to charting lighting pollution and how that relates to astronomy. Nature has published an all-night restoration issue, following a number of other publications in science, just explaining what light pollution does to people and animals and things. We have a new state law in New Hampshire that actually cuts into municipal authority specifically related to church construction proposals, which is to say that now a church or any religious group can propose a new building, and while normally you would reject, if this was a private business, you'd reject it for not including details about parking or lighting, they're just allowed to go through without those details. And that could be a thing that causes trouble real soon. Keweenaw Mountain Lodge in Michigan, this is a private resort and hospitality facility, has received state funds to pursue a dark sky designation. Green Valley, Arizona is forming a light pollution committee. Quantock Hills in Somerset in the UK is beginning a light pollution project. E-readers remain a better option before reading before bed, just because of how they are lit, or if they're lit at all. And the London Shard, a very tall building in London, is visible from 45 miles away thanks to their new lighting, and that seems like a thing to not thank anyone for. In horticultural news, Sichuan province is now home to the largest automated vertical farm as part of a broader project in food security from the government of China, and Kenobi has partnered with MCH for new indoor modular farming products. In recommended reading, all this on nailed.org, we have a profile of 3 smart, which is to say connected, IoT-connected dark sky cities, what building codes can do for carbon, what solar subsidies can do for cannabis growers, what a relamping can do for the Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis, what Cree Lighting thinks of trends, what NLB's Circadian panel has to say about circadian lighting, what efficiency means in horticulture, what myth-busting can be done about AI and environmental science, what AI can do for smart cities, what lighting has done for the new Penn Station, what we can do to make good cities, not smart cities, an understanding of the difference between human-centric lighting and circadian lighting. That's important. I'm probably going to rewrite this and re-examine this for something on nailed.org at some point. We have a discussion of what's better between mesh and cell networks. We have a idea of how to fix flicker and what designer dupes do for lighting designers. In local news, Arkansas schools are getting new specialty lighting controls projects in certain rooms. Houston has waived fees for requests for new street lighting. Accessible Saskatchewan Act, the Accessibility Act of Saskatchewan, is altering lighting rules in that province. Entergy Arkansas is beginning to offer $110,000 in not $110,000 in grants, but grants up to $110,000. New Jersey is changing lighting requirements for dog boarding facilities. Minneapolis-St. Paul is still struggling with copper thefts. Dick's Sporting Goods is donating lighting to parks in Wichita, Kansas. Aurora, Colorado has begun offering grants to small businesses. And Austin Lamp Works is opening a showroom in Georgetown. In international news, the EU is considering an enhanced, improved, expanded right to repair law. Guangdong province is going to swap out their street lighting. Ukraine is urging new energy use reduction as capacity is dropping. Val d'Oise is the next French town to adopt the Allumaru app for street lighting. Tron, Germany is looking for street lighting upgrades. Cornwall in the UK is going to be cutting lighting use between midnight and 5 a.m. UK infrastructure is funding new construction in Angola. That's in Africa. And the UK towns and a number of UK municipalities are canceling or reducing their lighting for the season. In People News, we have a shuffle of the executive committee at Rexel. John Collins has been named the CCO at Hayward. The NLB has named Tom Butters as their executive director. Kelly Knapp is joining Gannon Sales as their trade liaison. And Hinckley has picked Justin Kennedy as their regional sales manager. You can also make a candle that is actually made of smaller volumetric displays, or you can turn a light panel into a fake window. Until next time, I've been Scott Wachter. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your week and enjoy the music.
Exotica. Exotica. Enter the world of Exotica. Be a dice of Exotica. 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 Enter the world of Exotica. Be a dice of Exotica. 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 Exotica is the music. Exotica is the people. Be a dice for Exotica. Exotica. Exotica.